It is indeed the full circle, and we're going to be catching up with the Southern African Music Rights Organization, SAMRO, who are availing 3 million rand for the fourth installment of their flagship corporate social investment program, the Music Creation Support Fund. Joining me now is the CSI Manager out at SAMRO, Lesego Maforah. How are you doing this afternoon, Lesego?
Hi, Bridget. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. All right. Let's first get an understanding of the Music Creation Support Fund and what all that entails.
All right. So as part of SAMRO CSI portfolio, we have a number of initiatives that we roll out year in, year out. And all of them are really geared towards supporting SAMRO members to become better musicians, either in content, but also in how they conduct their affairs personally. But the MCSF, to be specific, is really a program that we're really proud of. We started it in 2021, and really the focus was around giving relief to artists who were affected by COVID and all of the downscaling that went on during the period. So since 2021, we've spent 7.5 million rand, which we've distributed to our full and associate members who take part in this MCSF. And we started out with 100, and we've continued on that tune for the past 3 years. But for this year's iteration, the 2024, we'll be pushing that up to 120 of our talented members, and hence the 3 million rand commitment.
Lesego, does the fund call for creators to utilize it for specific resource, or is it to their discretion in as far as where it goes and how it's utilized?
Okay, so we've tried to be as broad as possible. So the creatives are allowed to do anything that results in the creation of new music. And we deem new music anything being a new recording or completing an album that's currently underway or creating a music video for a song that's released but doesn't have a music video that goes with it. So we've been pretty lenient in terms of what they can use the money for. They could use the money to pay for session artists, as long as at the end of the process they're able to produce one piece of music that they can then share publicly, and that we as SAMRO will then take into our music archive and preserve that.
Yeah, and this is strictly for SAMRO members, right?
Yes, this is correct. It is for SAMRO members. And so it's open to all of our full and associate members. So at SAMRO, we have 3 levels of membership. We have prospective members, and those are essentially all your new artists who aren't generating a lot of revenue but want to access the industry. And they actually represent the significant portion of our membership. And then we have full and associate members. So those are members who've crossed specific threshold levels, and then are then invited to be full or associate members.
Okay, and I heard you say it's for the full and associate members.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are the 2 categories of SAMRO members that are able to apply for the grant.
And when you initially started, as you said, you were reaching 100 recipients, and this year you've scaled up a bit in fund and in number.
Yes, that's correct. So the fund so far is we would allocate 2.5 million rand per year to then distribute 25,000 rand to each of the artists that were nominated for the MCSF. But we felt it was, and we've had such a good response from artists, the quality of the work that's come through, to the fact that our executive and our board have deemed it fit to try and extend this to more members over time. So hence we've gone from 100 to 120. Yeah.
And then just by way of adding more clarification, if one is a full and associate member, is there another sort of list of criterion that I need to tick, or this is the sufficient box?
As long as you're a full and associate member, you would have already received communication around the initiative, and those members who haven't are free to reach out to us, and we will support them in that. But we communicate before we even go public. We communicate to all our members first about the opportunity and all the requirements that go along with that. and then they're open to apply, and we manage those applications for over a 3-week period before then evaluating and then appoint what's the word I'm looking for, granting the recipients.
Now, in terms of the adjudication committee, I'm not going to ask you who's on the committee. I know that the deadline is on the 15th of March 2024. And what do I then, you've obviously communicated to your members, but people sometimes miss the messaging. What do I need by way of, it must be within my proposal and my documents and my submission?
Okay, so for the Music Creation Support Fund, we really need to see the participants' program, how they intend to utilize the money, where it's going to go. So we do require some sort of a budget and a project plan that's attached to that, because we need to make sure that the funds are used in an effective way. But then apart from that, we're not very restrictive in terms of what must be there. They must just provide, obviously, their personal details, their ID copy, their membership numbers, what they're going to do with the money. So a description of their project. Is it money going to be used for a new album or to add to songs already created? Or are they creating one piece of unique music that they're using to generate interest in their craft? Or are they going to do a video that's based on new music that they've put out? So, and I mean, for that, the applicants must know that it's a grant. So obviously, if they don't perform, then obviously they would have to then repay that money back to the organization. But
so don't squander the money. Use it for what it was intended.
Absolutely. We give these grants to try and ensure that artists have new content coming out, and as a result of that, it adds to their sustainability through the royalties that we then collect on their behalf.
Yeah, and just by way of parting shot, I read that you also noticed a sort of increase in the number of females that applied for this particular grant last year.
Absolutely. So, we've really been trying to drive gender parity throughout all of our programs. And, for example, as you reflect on last year, we only had 17% of our applicants being female in the previous round. That is a 2022-2023. But the 2023-2024, we saw that increase by 19% to 30%, 36% of our applicants being female. And we're hoping that this number increases more. And to put that into perspective, last year we received in excess of 782 applications.
Sure. Well, listen, I hope that the information has gotten to all the relevant ears. Thank you so much for the time. That was a CSI manager at SAMRO who graciously allowed me to butcher his surname, Lesego Maforah, coming through. It's 10 to 2 o'clock right here on the Full Circle. Kids Corner is coming up, and it's going to lead us to the top of the hour into Nomalizo Mandela and the news.